Today, June 11th, 2026. Roll call, Ms. Adams.
Mayor Clea McCaw.
Present.
Vice Mayor Carolyn Flowers.
Present.
Councilmember Faye Jackson.
Present.
Councilmember Ken Kilmery.
Present.
Councilmember Angelica Landry.
Present.
Councilmember Brian Myers.
Present.
Councilmember Mark Rodriguez.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll have our invocation by Pastor Greg Rolls of the God is Good Church and our Pledge of Allegiance following by Vice Mayor Flowers. Can you please stand?
Bow your hearts with me. Father God, as we come in the name of Jesus, we want to tell you thank you. Thank you, Lord, for our many blessings. Thank you for your love for us. Thank you for ordering our steps. Lord, we ask a prayer right now, Father, for our mayor and mayor pro temp, all our city council members right now, all the department heads right now, that you would order their steps, bless what they put their hands to, Lord, and direct them in all they do. Father, not just here, Father, but at their homes, with their families, right now, in their private lives. May they always be focused on you, that they may lead us, Father, in righteousness and holding those things that are just and fair. Lord, let your will be done in this place right now tonight. May we always give you the glory and honor, and may serve us to be a light in this community, known for righteousness, led by righteous leaders doing the right thing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Craig. And we'll have item number 1, acceptance of agenda. Councilman Ken Kilmery.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the agenda for June 11th, 2026 council meeting be approved as written.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any questions, comments from the none? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Faye?
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am. All those opposed? Hearing none, it is passed. Tonight we have awards by the Service Fire Department. Staff report. Deputy Chief Deaver.
Yes, sir. Mike,
Yes,
come
sir.
on up. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor and Council. Do you need a mic for the audience at home?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor and Council, and all those present, it is my absolute honor to talk about and present to you our very best from 2025. We're a few months late. However, we want to represent these personnel here tonight. We had our annual awards banquet, and again, going back to 2025, that doesn't mean they're not doing a great job now. They still are. But we do want to represent each one of them. We had several awards given. One was going to be the Outstanding Achievement, one is the EMT of the Year, one is the Paramedic of the Year, and one is Firefighter of the Year. And each one of them is here tonight, except for our Firefighter of the Year award winner, Captain Chris Davila. He was unable to make it due to a family event he has to attend. But it is my honor to represent each one of them, and I would like them to come on up and join me up here if they can. And I'm going to talk just briefly about each one and about the award winner themselves. So I'm going to start off here with Varick Williams. Varick is firefighter EMT Varick Williams. He was our EMT of the year for 2025. A lot to say about Varick. More than anything, just his positivity and how happy and what a absolute pleasure he is to have on every crew in which he's a part. Varick is a very hard worker. He demonstrates the best of what we stand for each and every day. And he is a great mentor to those around him. Now, keep in mind, these awards are presented to us as chiefs from their peers. So it is their peers that write them up, and we get many nominations from across the ranks, and then we go through those, and we rank them, and we grade them, and that is how we come up with the award winning. So Varick received many award nominations from his peers. And as EMT of the Year, everybody doesn't really think about the EMT and the importance of the EMT on a call. We tend to focus on the advanced life support portion of it for the paramedics, but the EMT is absolutely a critical and integral role on those critical calls. They are the ones that are in the background and the unsung heroes. And so we really are proud to represent and recognize for Varick tonight for being EMT of the Year and the hard work and dedication and mentoring that he shows to others and the critical nature in which he is a part of to take care of our citizens out there. So thank you, Varick. Next up, we're going to have engineer, paramedic Bryce Madden. Bryce received our Outstanding Achievement Award. Now, Bryce is one of those who is behind the scenes working, and he doesn't say a whole lot. He's quite quiet. However, he is a hard worker and always going above and beyond. What Bryce does for us each year is he coordinates our pub ed events. So as we go out and we educate the public on what it is that can keep them safe and protected, whether it's fire safety, fall prevention, swimming safety, all the things. Bryce is out there each and every day helping us coordinate the pub ed events, and he does that on his own time, and he does a wonderful job with it. He has also put together our pub ed trailer. He keeps that up to date so we can go out and educate the youth of the community at all the schools. And if you guys recognize Squirt, the truck that runs around, Bryce was the one who put Squirt back in order. So Squirt had kind of been trailered for quite a while and was no longer running. And Bryce was able to take his own time and his own resources and rehab Squirt and get it back, and the kids love it. So it's a really great tool out there. And Bryce is the one who is the kind of the brainchild of all those events as we coordinate public education. Bryce also does what's called SimU Share for us. So as you know, we have to train quite a few of our personnel on critical incidents, fires, motor vehicle accidents, hazmat incidents, and Bryce utilizes technology to create simulations for our captains and our battalion chiefs and our paramedics to train. And so Bryce is behind the scenes creating those simulations. So again, Bryce was recognized by his peers and by all of us for his outstanding work as the Outstanding Achievement for 2025. So thank you, Bryce. Congratulations. And last but certainly not least here, we have paramedic Juliana Rodriguez. Now, Juliana is fairly new to our organization, but she's not a new paramedic. She came to us from out of state, originally from here. She'd moved away. She came back, and Service is her home, and she's here and came back to take care of her family. And she came to us quiet, unassuming, but a very, very difficult, a very, very hard worker. And Juliana was recognized by her peers this year primarily due to a critical incident that she responded to on Fort Huachuca. Her and her partner responded to an infant not breathing. This was in the middle of the night, and this infant happened to be a newborn, and they arrived on scene, and the infant was not breathing. It did not have a pulse. Juliana took control of the scene. She coordinated all the other responders on the scene, all of them basic life support other than herself and her ALS partner. And they were able to establish airway, medications, intraosseous access, and they were able to resuscitate the newborn. And that child is alive today with no neurological deficits. So we're very, very proud of her. The child was down without a pulse and without breathing for over 10 minutes. And they were still able to resuscitate the child, get it transported to the hospital to definitive care. The child was subsequently flown to Tucson for further treatment and came by the station to visit Juliana with the parents not long after that. She also went above and beyond and made a quilt for the baby, and you could really show and see her heart and what it meant to her to be able to give that child a second chance at life. So again, one of our best paramedics out there, and we're very proud of her and the hard work, and for that, she is going to be recognized as our Paramedic of the Year. So thank you. And I do, even though Captain Davila is not here, that's no fault of his own. He would absolutely love to be here. There's a lot to say about Captain Davila, a Marine Corps Navy veteran, 25-year veteran of the fire department, one of our very best. I wish he was standing here tonight with us. Captain Davila is just one of those that each and every one of us look up to, we admire, and we are so grateful for his leadership, his hard work, and his dedication to the community. So I want to make sure that we get his name out there and let everyone know that we absolutely are proud to recognize him as 2025 Firefighter of the Year, and we are so glad to have him as part of us. He makes us better. So thank you.
Congrats again. And we'll go to our city manager report. Sir?
Thank you, Mayor McCaw, members of the council. Your next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for Tuesday, June 23rd, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers. And then, of course, your next regular meeting will be 5 p.m. June 25th, Thursday, also here in the council chambers. Reminder that next week we have our overall budget presentations for you, and the first one will be on Tuesday, the 16th, 3 p.m., and that will be here in the council chambers. And then, if necessary, another one on the 17th is scheduled also at 3 p.m. Reminder that city offices will be closed Friday, June 19th, in observance of the Juneteenth holiday. So that's coming up as well, and that'll precipitate a change in refuse schedules. So the pickups for Monday will be Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, we have a few projects going on. The Julio Jezere pavement replacement project, we received one bid from K&G, and that is currently under staff review, and then, of course, we'll let you know how that turns out. We have a statement of qualifications for job order contracts for general construction and building maintenance. This is designed to handle some of our smaller jobs and help us speed up the procurement process. So we received actually 16 statements of qualifications. We awarded to 5 top-ranked firms in that process: A5 Design and Construction, Concord, Expert Renovations, K&G, and Lloyd Construction were the ones that came out on top. And hopefully the puppy room and then the restrooms at the parks will be the number one projects that we'll use that process for. So we'll get started on those very quickly then. Invitation for bids, PD Evidence parking lot construction, that was awarded to K&G, and they're actually finished with a final walkthrough of yesterday, so we're glad to announce that that project is completed. Annual street maintenance was also awarded to K&G. That's going on the streets, if you notice, and especially Coronado, where it impacts me the most, but we're hoping to see that completed by the end of June. And then, of course, there was groundbreaking for Henry Jones Park. KWR Construction is doing that one, and we're expecting a fall completion for that particular project. Finally, this morning, I was able to join the mayor for the Chamber Leadership Group for City Government Day. We focused on economic development, so Mr. Boone joined me for that. I know planning staff also went over the general plan with the group as well. Very good group, and of course that's an excellent program. And then I also attended a CCOM regular meeting on your behalf, 9 o'clock this morning, and most of that discussion centered around towers and communications around some of the rural parts of the county. So that's all I have for today, but very busy day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for our city manager? Thank you. And we go to item number 2, Councilman Myers.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, I move that the consent agenda items consisting of the work session minutes of May 26, 2026, and the regular meeting minutes of May 28, 2026 be approved.
Second.
Been properly moved to second. Have any discussion items? None. I'll call for the vote. All's in favor? Faith?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, seeing none, it is passed. Go to our public hearing items. Item number 3, Councilman Kilmurray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2026-038, approval of the general plan update Vista 2040, and referring the question to voters to the city of Sierra Vista at the general election on November 3rd, 2026.
Been probably moved in second. Staff report, Mr. McLaughlin. Hey, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. As Yogi Berra once famously said, it's like deja vu all over again. The good news is that we've had an opportunity to take a second look, incorporate feedback, and make the plan better. We appreciate the efforts of the council, the commissions, and the citizens in making the final document much stronger. Tonight's hearing is the third and final hearing to fulfill statutory requirements. Last month, we had 2 hearings before the Planning and Zoning Commission, after which they unanimously voted to recommend approval of the plan before you. We think Vista 2040 is very sound, straightforward, and well vetted, and clearly lays out what the city is pursuing to enhance the quality of life, expand economic opportunity, and preserve the qualities that make Sierra Vista Sierra Vista. The action before the council tonight is adoption of the Vista 2040 general plan, subject to ratification by the voters in November. Tonight, I'll briefly cover what a general plan is and isn't, how we got here, what's new in the Vista 2040, what we heard from the community, and why the plan matters. I'll start out by addressing some of the common misconceptions we encountered during the process and what a general plan does and does not do. A general plan establishes the vision and direction for the community. It does not fund projects, approve development, change zoning, or impose taxes. I want to make that clear. Instead, it provides a framework that helps guide future decisions made by elected officials, staff, residents, and the development community. Every city and town in Arizona must maintain a general plan. The question is whether Sierra Vista moves forward with an updated plan that reflects today's priorities or continues to rely on a plan that was adopted over a decade ago. In 2023, the City Council restructured the commissions to better integrate their focus with the elements that make up the general plan. The plan benefited from a wide range of perspectives of commissioners that rotated through the process over the last few years. The document reflects the contributions from a lot of people over a long period of time. They spent many meetings working through the goals and policies in each of these areas and helping shape the final product. One of the biggest changes you'll notice is the format. The plan was redesigned and produced in-house with a focus on making it more user-friendly. We moved to a single column layout with graphics throughout. We divided the plan into 2 volumes. Volume 1 contains the goals, objectives, and policies that guide future decision-making. Volume 2 contains the supporting information, data analysis, maps, etc. Separating the two allows the plan to remain concise while providing the supporting information needed to make long-range planning and to satisfy state requirements. It's also important to note that this wasn't built from scratch. It builds on decades of work by prior councils, commissions, staff, and residents. We retained what still worked, updated what needed updating, and organized it in a way that better reflects Sierra Vista today. It's funny, you go back, and I was looking at our Vista 2000 plan that was approved in 1985. There was so much good information that we were able to resurrect and bring forward into this plan. It was one of my predecessors, Bob Herwig, Jim Herwig, that put that together. And it was just a very strong, solid document. So we didn't want that to get overlooked. We went through all the plans and studies that have been done over the decades and made sure that what stayed relevant remained in our planning today. One of the strongest themes we heard throughout the public engagement process is that residents value Sierra Vista's small town character and tight-knit feel. The population projection shown here indicates Sierra Vista's long-term growth is expected to remain relatively modest and manageable. According to the state projections, Sierra Vista is expected to add around 2,000 people between the last census and 2040. That's roughly 42 homes a year. So that's not the kind of growth that fundamentally changes the character of a community. It's also important to recognize that Sierra Vista's future remains closely tied to Fort Huachuca. As the region's largest employer and economic driver, changes in military missions, civilian employment, and federal investment can influence population trends far more than local development activity alone. The bottom line is that Sierra Vista functions as a mature community. This plan is not focused on accommodating rapid growth or large-scale expansion. This update was not developed behind closed doors. There's substantial public involvement throughout the process. Our outreach included public meetings, workshops, surveys, open houses, online engagement opportunities, and multiple public hearings. In total, we recorded more than 11,000 interactions throughout this effort. A lot of people took the time to review materials, attend events, and share their feedback. And when you step back and look at the input that we received, the themes are pretty consistent. People want roads and infrastructure addressed first. Water remains a top priority. There's interest in more attainable housing options. People want more things to do, especially for families and younger residents. They want a stronger business environment. And they want the city to take care of what it already has before expanding outward. We also heard that people wanted the plan to be easier to understand and wanted to know how it would be implemented. Those comments helped shape the final document before you tonight. I'll close on why this matters. Vista 2040 is more than a statutory requirement. It helps shape how decisions get made over time, helps answer questions about where growth should occur, what priorities deserve attention, how those priorities align with infrastructure and public services. It provides predictability for residents, businesses, and community partners. Supports economic opportunity while preserving the qualities that people value about Sierra Vista. At its core, Vista 2040 is about balance, supporting economic opportunity, protecting community character, and making thoughtful decisions about Sierra Vista's future. So that's it in a nutshell. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have before opening the public hearing.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, comments? Sir?
Just a comment. So thank you again for making this a little bit more digestible for everybody than previous, I guess, years. Obviously, great information, like the one-page thing, very easy, very clear and concise on what it is and what it isn't for our voters out there. And I hope they do their research and figure out, that if you're voting against it, it's not because you're going to not raise taxes. That's one of the biggest misconceptions from last time. So I appreciate that. And like you said, a decade ago is what kind of division, a decade ago is different than the vision is today, and a decade from now it'll be different. So it's important that we keep up to date with these. So hopefully the voters will see it that way and help us push this through, because it is not just something that it's obviously important, but it's also a legal requirement that the state makes every city in Arizona do. So thank you for all the work that you did for this.
Other comments? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Faith?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, it is passed. We go to our new business, item number 4, Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution 2026-039, approval of the Stone Garden grant in the amount of $193,503 for mileage and overtime reimbursement to the Sierra Vista Police Department be approved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Staff report, Chief.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council. With this particular resolution, I'm requesting approval of our Operation Stone Garden grant. It's been a recurring grant program we've been involved in now for several years. This particular grant reimburses our overtime costs as well as our mileage to be involved in high visibility deployment on the Highway 92 corridor, both in and out of and south of town. Primarily related to interdiction activities and border security, but there are a lot of secondary benefits that come from doing this type of activity: traffic safety, removing impaired drivers off the roadway, narcotics that are being smuggled through town. So there are a lot of benefits. These are high productive deployments. With this particular grant, we will be receiving $113,580 reimbursement in overtime, and then $61,163 in employee-related expense reimbursement. Now, there's a question about ERE at the work session, and the ERE is the additional cost to the employer. So this basically gives us a full reimbursement of the cost burden, the salary burden. That's what the ERE is. In addition, we are getting mileage reimbursement in the amount of $18,760 for a total award of $193,503,000. Also at the work session, I kind of recapped last year's productivity, and we aim to continue with this trajectory of performance under these deployments. So let me just share with you some of the statistics from last year. We had 272 Stone Garden deployments, resulting in 732 traffic stops, 301 citations, and additionally, we had 99 criminal cases that were prosecuted, 4 failure to yields or pursuits, 30 vehicle seizures, 2 firearms that were seized, currency in the amount of $340 that was seized. And then we had a total of 9 drug seizure cases, which included 9.8 grams of fentanyl taken off the street and 91.14 grams of methamphetamine taken off the street. So we will continue to deploy on overtime. It has a great benefit to our community, our safety, and then the region in general. And in my tenure here with the Sierra Vista Police Department, I have seen border security and human smuggling surge, and then there are tactics and strategies and changes that are made, and it slows down, but it surges again. It has always been cyclical, and I think we need to constantly keep at it for community safety. And so with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions, comments? Thank you, Chief. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Faith?
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? Hearing none is passed. And we'll go to item number 5, Councilwoman Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2026-040, approval of the acceptance of City of Tucson High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Area HITA Grant Program funds in the amount of $6,538 be approved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Staff report, Chief.
Good afternoon again, Mayor, members of council. With this particular resolution, I'm requesting approval of a small grant that has been offered to us through the High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Program, which is actually being administered through the City of Tucson. This particular grant is reimbursing us for the purchase of an all-terrain vehicle that we had already purchased in 2025. This was a Yamaha ATV. It was actually purchased initially for a fraud, a very in-depth fraud investigation that we were working jointly with Homeland Security Investigations. And we needed to purchase this and use it as part of a controlled delivery, and then further the investigation into a rather elaborate fraud ring. After the conclusion of the case, the ATV, we had a use for an ATV anyway, so our HSI partners agreed to fund and purchase and reimburse us for the cost of the ATV. We use it locally for checking homeless encampments and working out in the areas that are out in the fields and state trust land here that we check regularly. But in addition, to be eligible for this grant, we agreed to make this vehicle eligible and available to be deployed on our regional SWAT team, which makes it part of the Southeastern Arizona Major Investigative Team, and then also for Stone Garden deployments. There's a need for that as well. So with this particular grant, approving this grant tonight will allow us to receive reimbursement for this asset that we've already purchased. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Excellent. Any questions, comments from you? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? All in favor? Faith?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it is passed. Thank you, sir. And item number 6, Vice Mayor Flowers.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2026-041, approval of the proceedings of the Industrial Development Authority of the City of Sierra Vista regarding the issuance of the Education Facility Revenue Funding Bonds, PLC Charter Schools Project Series 2026, in an amount not to exceed $15 million.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Staff report, Mr. Solana. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. Thank you for asking. Mr. Mayor, members of the council and city administration, as you know, I'm counsel to the Sierra Vista Industrial Development Authority, and I'm here on their behalf. The resolution you have before you today from the Sierra Vista IDA relates to a revenue bond for a charter school financing here in Arizona. The PLC Charter School has requested the issuance of these education facility revenue refunding bonds in an amount not to exceed $15 million. The financing is to use the bond proceeds to refund a prior bond issue from 2016, which refunded two prior bond issues before that, which originally acquired and then expanded the facility. They are looking at, in addition, to use monies from the bond to expand their facilities again. The bonds will not have investment grade, but will be publicly sold by Colliers Securities, but only to accredited investors or qualified institutional buyers. As a reminder, the Sierra Vista IDA is a separate commission, a separate corporation, I should say, from the city. It is not a commission of the city. Board members of the Sierra Vista IDA are by Arizona statute appointed by the city council, and as a governmental unit, the city must approve the proceedings for the issuance of these bonds by the Sierra Vista IDA. The bonds are not a pledge of the credit of either the IDA or the city. Instead, they're the sole financial obligation of the borrower, which is PLC Charter Schools. Under the IDA statute, there can be no obligation, financial obligation by the city or by the IDA for these bonds. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, comments? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Faye? Faye?
Aye. Aye. Can you hear me?
Yes. Opposed?
Yes.
Hearing none, it is passed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Safe drive back to Tucson. Thank you. And we'll go to our item number 7. Councilman Murray. Ken.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the resolution 2026-042, approval of a settlement agreement in the matter of Flynn versus City of Sierra Vista et al.
Excellent. Second.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Staff report. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. I'll reiterate or just restate what was discussed Tuesday at our work session. As you know, this item seeks approval of a settlement agreement negotiated between Joseph and Karen Flynn and the City of Sierra Vista. And just to remind council and those who are present of the history of how we got here, late summer, early fall, the Flynns, who own property bordering the golf course, submitted a notice of claim to the city in which they allege that certain lighting installations at the driving bay and other, decorative features, target features on the golf course violated Sierra Vista City Light Code. As a result of that, in early fall, mid-fall, the city commissioned a light study through Wright Engineering. That light study did identify some things that the city could do to eliminate light trespass onto neighboring properties. So in late fall, after receiving the light study and after the procurement process, the city began remediation of the driving bay. In February of 2026, the Flynns filed a lawsuit against the city for the very same thing, alleging light trespass and violations of the city's light code. From that time until now, the city has continued work on remediating the light trespass. That work is now complete. The Flynns reached out to the city a few weeks ago asking about a potential settlement. Through our contract attorney, we negotiated the terms of what we feel is an appropriate settlement in the matter. And the essential terms are as follows. 1, the city would complete the remediation as outlined in the Wright Engineering report, which has been completed. 2, that the city would ask Wright Engineering to review the remediation efforts and issue in writing whether or not the remediation efforts comply with the earlier report, which we just received this morning, the certification from Wright Engineering that the remediation is complete and does comply with city code. And then 3, the Flynns asked that the city pay their attorney's fees, and after some back and forth, we came to an amount of $3,000 that the city would pay the Flynns for their attorney's fees. So where we stand today is that the modifications have been completed. Wright Engineering has accepted those modifications and has stated that we are now in compliance with our code, and the Flynns have signed the settlement agreement. And so this item tonight, if approved, would just finalize that settlement agreement. The lawsuit would be complete, and we would not have to deal with it any longer. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, sir. Questions from the council? Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, Nathan, I appreciate the fact that you changed your language that it's not a nuisance lawsuit when we're talking about this, because if it were, we wouldn't be settling to remediate the lights on the golf course. and we wouldn't be having the second engineering study, and we wouldn't be paying the Flynn's legal fees. And in a nuisance lawsuit, typically in my mind is when the person's seeking monetary damages for the city to pay them. That's not the case here. They simply wanted the lights turned down so it's not in their backyard. I sat with them. I sat in their backyard. I agreed with what their argument was, and in a matter of months, we bought the golf course. In a matter of months, we had the driving range built, so it shouldn't have taken a whole year and to remediate something that's rather simple, and to expect a resident to sit in their backyard in an otherwise dark area and have the golf course lights shining in their face is just a reminder every single night that the city has done them wrong. So I understand why perhaps they didn't have to do the lawsuit and do the notice of claim and then the lawsuit, but they did because they felt that was their last resort. I appreciate the fact that if we close this out, will be done. People will be happy. The Flynn's will be happy that they're not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning stressing out about this any longer, and it'd be all goodness. But I think right now, for me, as a council member, I'm one of the 6 people or 7 people, I'm sorry, who, I forgot about you, that we stand up for the people. Sometimes we have to stand up for the people against the city. And if I'm the only no vote on that, if I'm the only person who votes no to stand up for a resident, I'll be happy to do that. I hope that's not the case. But I think a no vote with instructions to the city council to go ahead and pay all of the Flynn's legal fees, which now is probably about $10,000 if we go back and add more to mess around with the agreement one more time after they already signed it. And that's all I'm asking. Make them whole. They're happy with the I think they'll be happy with the resolution on the mitigation measures, but the city will be in compliance with its own rules, which is always a good thing, I believe, because the rules do apply to us. Speaking of the rules applying to us, I did misspeak on Tuesday. I got the rules not applying to us from a conversation with the Flynn's when I was sitting at their house. So that's where that came from. So that's what I have, and that's the explanation of my no vote on this and what I would hope we could resolve to make a resident whole again. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Just want to make a few comments. So, again, like I said earlier, I appreciate all the work the city's done to make things right on their end. Obviously, from working with the engineers through remediation work, the shielding, all the stuff I've seen them out there doing, working, the contract council, all that stuff that the city has put in good faith to get it right on our end. And I agree, we do work for constituents, and we should fight for the people of our city. I 100% agree with that. And I appreciate you taking the time to go to sit in their backyard and things like that. It's very important that we do that. I received some emails from them as well, but I could not respond because once we're in litigation, we cannot talk to them. So that's how I was advised not to do. I was going to ask if there was any pushback or anything on the lawsuit, the settlement, if they're not in agreements, but when you said that they signed it, it answered my question there that I was going to ask and wondering if it was, how they were feeling about it, because I haven't spoken to them since. But since they signed it, I don't know what anybody's feelings are. I don't know them when they've signed it, if they're like, okay, we're done. Or, I would assume that, to me, it feels like, okay, they're ready to be done with it. The city's done their part. They've done their part on their side. And they're okay with us paying the $3,000. So I think if there was a pushback, if there was anything that was left undone or if they felt wronged still, I would assume they would have said that. So I think I was looking for that to see if that was the case, but it sounds like it's not. So, like I said, I appreciate, we should all be doing that, fighting for whoever it is that has an issue with wherever it is in the city. I think which we all have our times we get to do those things. So I appreciate all the work you've done, Councilman Kamari, for doing that. So I appreciate that as well. And I hope everybody continues to do exactly that. You vote with your heart and however it feels, and you're making sure that the people of our community are done right. So I appreciate you doing all that work. And as well as, obviously on the city side, everybody checking the boxes that needed to be checked and making sure that it was completed. So I just want to thank everybody involved for getting this done. And it seems like we're at a point where we can move on now and move forward. So just wanted to make those comments. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, comments? Sir?
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate your words.
I have a question.
I'll defer to Faye.
Go ahead, Faye.
Hi, everyone. I have to agree with Councilmember Kiamori on this one. To be honest with you, we have to take our part, our ownership, and what we did wrong as well. And it is our right, it is our place as council members to make sure that we make the right vote for everyone and be fair to all of our residents. So on this piece, I do agree with Councilmember Kiamori for sure, and that we should pay the entire fee. But that's my input on that, and that's why I stand on that as well.
And what's your question?
Oh, I don't have a question. I had a comment.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay, I thought you had a question. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Kamara.
Thank you.
To Mark's point is, yeah, they did settle for $3,000. They want to get this off their plate. It's been kind of mentally painful for them pushing it through. And as Mr. Williams said, we need to get this thing closed and done, and that's really what they want. And if it was going to cost them an extra $7,000 in legal fees, they're willing to do it. And I would just like to take that one extra step. Instead of the $3,000, make them whole, then put it behind us, because I know it would be behind us, because like I said before, I think they will be happy with the mitigation. And if they're not wholly happy, then whatever, the city's in compliance. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Other comments? I'm gonna call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed?
Nay.
Opposed.
It is passed. And we'll go to call the public tonight. We have two. First is Adam Majestic. Sir, greetings. You have 5 minutes. You'll see green light illuminated here. Red means your time is expired, and you have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm here today utilizing PDS ponds, particularly for fishing. Well, particularly for the youth fishing. There's not a whole lot of chances for the youth to do any sportsman activities, and the ponds by PDS give them the opportunity, especially for the youth that cannot drive. They can walk to these ponds, fish to them. During the week, it is spring or summer vacation. So I'm here if we could come up to some type of agreement where they may not be disturbing golfers, or I'm sure they're not going to vandalize anything, because they would like to have their opportunities to utilize the ponds for fishing. It would be a catch and release. Nobody would take anything from the property. I could answer any questions, but giving our youth something to do that the kids don't ride their bikes or things like that. I think opening up the sportsmanship to these children would be the right thing to do.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. We cannot respond to you. It's
Okay.
your time. It's your time to talk to us. By law, we can't respond to you.
Okay. Well, that's I have said my piece then.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And our next one is Deborah Segina? Segina. Ma'am, welcome.
Thank you.
Again, you have 5 minutes. You'll see green light illuminated here. Red means your time is expired.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
Yes, green is your time. You have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Red means your time is expired.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. We had submitted a letter, my husband and I, in support of the Nancy Brewer Animal Shelter, and we were asked to be here to present in person. Unfortunately, my husband is out of state, so You have half of the dynamic duo. However, I'm here to tell you what we wrote is definitely from both of us. We wrote to express our sincere appreciation for the outstanding work and unwavering dedication demonstrated daily at the Animal Care Center. The Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center stands as a vital pillar of compassion within our community, providing not only refuge for vulnerable animals, but also hope, care, and second chances. It also provides our residents a valuable resource for pet ownership. Every day, the staff and volunteers go above and beyond to ensure that the animals in their care are treated with dignity and kindness. From rescuing and rehabilitating abandoned and injured animals to facilitating adoptions that create lasting bonds. Their efforts reflect a deep commitment to both animal welfare and public service. Their work isn't simply organizational. The shelter operations, handling adoptions, search and rescue, transporting surrendered animals, and investigating animal-related issues, they often include abuse, neglect, and deceased animals. And anyone who has dealt with any of that firsthand knows how hard that can be. Their duties, in fact, should not be considered a normal working environment. They face a greater potential for assaults by both humans and animals. They respond to situations that may not only be frightening, but may cause traumatic stress. Yet their purposes and their goals are profoundly humane. In addition to direct care, the shelter plays a crucial role in community education, promoting responsible pet ownership, and supporting initiatives such as spay and neuter, city licenses, vaccines, and microchip identification. And these efforts have long-term benefits to our community. They help reduce animal overpopulation and improve the overall health and safety of our city. The tax dollars are well utilized and provide an underlying cost savings for our residents. And their impact of the shelter extends far beyond its walls. It fosters a culture of empathy, encourages civic engagement, and reminds us all of the importance of stewardship towards living beings who cannot advocate for themselves. The dedication of this team reflects the very best of our community values. And we respectfully encourage the City Council to please continue supporting and investing in this essential institution. By doing so, you affirm a commitment to compassion, responsibility, and the well-being of both animals and residents alike. Thank you for your time and for your continued service to our community. We'd also like to thank Sierra Vista Chief of Police, Chris Heiser, for his dedication and proactive support to this invaluable service provided to the community. I would also just say, if you haven't visited the shelter, do it. You think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the conditions that the animals have there? I certainly was. And we went from visiting to volunteering, and we're now fostering. And it's a lot, but I'll tell you what, it's worth it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And last, without comments and requests from council, we'll start with Councilman Myers.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess I'll take Councilman Myers' time too. Thank you to everybody who came to the meeting tonight and shared. It's always nice to see new faces and familiar faces too. So thank you all for being here tonight. I did want to do a local shout out. There's heroes in the community. So I just wanted to bring attention to an incident that happened. So there was a local woman that was on her way to work when the front wheel of her scooter, it got caught in something in the road, and she flipped over her handlebars and she hit her face pretty hard. There was a man who was walking his dog. They usually walk along 92. It's the most beautiful dog you've ever seen. It's this big, beautiful white dog. It's a Russian wolfhound named Nico. And so they were there, and they stopped, and they made sure that she was okay. They helped her with her backpack and everything to make sure she could make it to. They were nearby the gas station, so they were able to get her there and to make sure everything was okay. So she had posted about that. So I just wanted to mention that. So I think it's really important. There's things that happen in our town every day like that. And so it's really great to share good news and to see good things like that. So thank you, everybody out there who's doing things like that, making a difference in our community. So I wanted to shout that out. And also, summertime is here. It's really hot out. Super hot. So just make sure you're taking care of your animals. If you're taking your dogs out, make sure it's not too hot for them. Maybe keep them inside a little bit or get up a little earlier or something, just to make sure that they're okay, because they're not able to really tell you what's going on or how they're feeling. Even though they're excited to go outside, but maybe it's not a good time for them to go outside. And then if you don't have a dog in your life, the animal shelter has plenty. You can go over there and you can walk them, you can foster them, you can take them on an overnight trip somewhere. So that's something that might be fun to add to your summertime. And with that, be blessed and blessed be.
Excellent. And we go to Councilman Kilmurray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hey, I'd like to applaud Public Works on your quick response on changing the signs. I actually got some feedback after it happened. It just makes it make a lot more sense the way you guys did it. So thanks a lot, Sharon. Appreciate that. And then, Victoria's not here. Chuck. Can we get an accounting of the cost of the 2 light studies and then the overall cost and mitigation efforts on the for the golf course driving range? Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jackson. Hey. Well, I'm glad she went after you. You don't have to retain her time.
I mean, I'll take it. Take it. I got another sheet here.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Hey, how you doing? All right. So, want to congratulate the Boys and Girls Club. They celebrated their 30-year anniversary this past weekend. It was good to see Joe Craps there, the man who started it off when he left council, and Jay Hamright, who's taking the torch from him. So it's good to see those two icons there doing great things. I want to thank the first responders who did demos. We had PD out there doing a K9 one, and Fire doing another demonstration with the truck out there. So it was great to see that. The kids had a great time. We attended the Juneteenth flag raising ceremony. There was a bunch of us out there, a bunch of people out there. The mayor was out there. Mayor Pro Tem was there, and it was great to see the flag up at Tompkins Park. It'll be there all month. So if you want to go see the Juneteenth flag, it'll be at Tompkins Park all month. And then there's a Juneteenth event on Saturday the 20th at 10:30 at the Rothery, like they do every year. So go check that out. Also want to congratulate the Roadrunner Throwdown Cornhole Tournament, right, put on by Sierra Vista PD, Trish Harmon. She always does a great job raising money for Special Olympics. It was a hot day out there at the golf course. It was pretty hot, but there's a lot of good teams out there. Chief was there with his son. They had a team going, so it was good to see them. A lot of local business owners, Miss Sierra Vista were out there. Miss Sierra Vista team, they're out there helping with the raffles. It was great to see all that community involvement. And just always want to special highlight how much money they raise, right? Being the size of our community, they're based off the size of our PD, and we're almost rivaling Tucson. So next time you see Trish, ask her how close we are to raising more money than Tucson. That says a lot about our community. It says a lot about our law enforcement, about Trish, that we are almost catching up to Tucson fundraising. So we got to keep doing that, because I would love to catch up to that. And this Saturday is ribbon cutting at the neighborhood table, which is the same owners that formerly Manny's Market that closed down here. Now they're located further down, 92 South, next to Nirvana's Cup of Joe and my yoga community center in that same strip. That's Saturday at 11 for the ribbon cutting. They're open at 8 if you want to get there early and get the good snacks before we come at 11 to eat them all. Go check that out. It's good to see the new fire engine in service now. It's at Station 1. It's a Pierce pumper engine. Pierce is a pretty good company. They've been pretty good to our community for a while, truck-wise, so it's good to see that one out there after the years it takes to get a vehicle. Actually, from the time it's requested to budgeted to delivered, it's years. It's crazy how long it takes, but I'm glad that one's finally there, and the next one's coming up later on this year, which will be great to see as well. Shout out to everybody that got awards today. They got awards at the ceremony, and then obviously bringing them here to see that as well for their EMT of the Year, Outstanding Achievement, Paramedic of the Year, and Firefighter of the Year. Congrats to them again. And then all the city employees who got awards yesterday, it was good to see all of them at lunch. That was an awesome event. I love that every year. Seeing that, all you got to do is say free food and everybody shows up. So keep doing that. I love that. And another person who stopped in our community, Mr. Rob Hugh, they gave a shout out to him as well on Facebook. There's a lady who fell in a crosswalk off her bike. And someone said, "Hey, who owns this truck? This guy's awesome." And they figured out someone's grandpa. His name is Rob Hugh. He stopped and helped the lady out of the crosswalk, which is great. I love that. I love your story because that says that's going on in our community even more. And I can't thank the people out there enough that do stuff like that. Thanks to our call to the public. It's always good to hear from the public. And we'll definitely look into all those things. And then the last thing is Father's Day is coming up June 21st before our next meeting. So I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, the father figures. I've been lucky to have a few in my life, so I'm thankful for that. So happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor.
I have nothing tonight.
What? And I have nothing as well. You could have retained my time.
Nope.
Blessed be. Have a great day. Be blessed.